to start, we need to get into good posture. If you know that you struggle with good posture, if your back's going to ache while you're doing this, then you could perhaps sit against something. You could sit with something under your sitting bones. We want to try and get that back as straight as possible. So we don't want to be sitting here, so be aware perhaps of your habits. If you're not sure, have a look in the mirror and see how it is you sit. So I want to start from a really good position. We're going to try and get a little bit of mobility into that lower back area. So think about the bit between the bottom of your rib cage and the top of your hips, okay? And what we're going to try and do is a sideways movement of the rib cage. Now because this area is tight for a lot of us, what tends to happen is we move with the shoulders, or we try and push, or we'll do something else, yeah? And it could be quite subtle, so I want you to really try and pay attention to what your body is doing. So you're sitting with the weight in your hips. And here at the side of the ribs, I'm going to rest my arm here to help, not pushing or anything, and I'm going to try and push straight across. So it's not a very big movement. Now you might find that it's hard to do, you might find your legs tense, you might find you lift your shoulder. So it's one of those things where maybe less is more. We just want a little movement across to the side. And if you get a nice precise movement, remember your rib cage can't come forward. It's just that little movement there. You might feel something in your lower back. You might feel that although it's a bit tight and hard to do, it's actually quite a pleasant movement. Remember with anything, if it feels painful, you need to stop doing it. You need to find out why it's painful. So this might be a bit odd feeling or uncomfortable, but kind of in a good way, if that makes sense. Good pain, as we say, although I don't want to say pain. Good discomfort. Then we're going to try and go the same the other way. Now this, I don't know if you can see, is actually harder for me to do. This side is the side that gets tight on me. So I need to make sure that that side of the rib cage is down and that I'm literally just moving across to that side. And this is taking far more control, far more work going on in my abs to get this movement to work. Does feel tighter. Does feel quite pleasant now in an odd sort of way. And it's almost on this side as if I can't really tell what I'm doing. And that is a very good indication that that needs to move a bit more. I'm going to do some more that way. I'm going to try and compare that side to that side. So that's definitely harder. What I'm going to try and do is about 10 to 15 each way and do that twice. You can go from side to side. Sometimes that confuses the issue. It's nice to keep repeating it because then you can keep thinking about whether you've got it right. Are you lined up? Are your shoulders relaxed? So we're going to release through your neck. We're going to do a technique where we have a little bit of tension in the muscle, but we have that tension while we're stretching. So they're kind of opposite. So what we want to do is stretch something, hold it in the stretch position, and then tense it as if we were going to move, but not allow that movement to happen. Stay in the stretch. So from here, we're going to do a neck stretch. So this is your neck. Please be careful. There's a couple of things that are worth thinking about position-wise. Yeah, if you're doing this and you're a long way forward, you're adding into the stretch into your back. So we want to stay nice and upright because that might be a little bit too much stretch. The other thing to watch when you're stretching the neck is because a lot chin further forward. That's actually compressing, that's shortening. You need to bring your chin in to open this all out and then stretch it. So that chin position is very important. So I'm going to draw the chin in, sit into the sitting bones. I'm going to bring the top of the head up and over. So can you see I'm lengthened even more through the back of the neck. Now that is a stretch there. So I'm not pushing down here, I'm lifting up. So once I've got that stretch, all I'm going to do is push back. So it's literally that sort of motion. But we're not going to allow that movement to happen. So in good posture, I'll just do it with one arm. So I would normally just rest my hands there, but not pull. Tuck the chin in, pull up, and I'm going to stretch. Now I'm going to push into my hand. All I'm doing really is matching the push with the amount of stretch. So it's quite a light stretch, it's quite a light push. And stay there and breathe. I'm just going to count to about 20. If it feels uncomfortable, do less stretch, less push. So I just want to feel, you might feel, I can feel that, where I can feel it is kind of travelling down my neck a bit. It's gone more now to like the bottom of my neck, the top of my back. So it kind of finds the tension. I feel like now I can stretch a little bit more. But only do that if you get a sense of wanting to do that. So this is all about connecting to your body. If you can't feel that something has changed, don't add to it, yeah? So it depends how good your body awareness is when you can add to it. So you don't need to add to it, you can stick with what you had. We're going to do it again. So again, feel that stretch. So this bit you do need to be aware of. You need to feel that stretch. You need to keep your chin in. And then we're going to push back into the hand. Keep breathing. Push from the neck, not from the back. Keep the chin in. Keep breathing. Keep stretching, keep pushing, keep breathing. So for this one, we're going to work into the hip flexors. Remember I said there's a relationship between those muscles that you released earlier. So we're going to come onto a sort of lunge position. Now I want you to tuck your bottom under a little bit and just feel the stretch. So it's not the lunge stretch like this here, we're just keeping this really small. So you can feel that in there. Now that muscle actually lifts your legs. So remember we need the contraction. So the contraction would be lifting it up. But your weight's in your knee and we want to stay in the stretch. So we're not going to lift, we're just going to move against that pressure. So we're going to tuck the bottom under, you'll feel the stretch there now, and all I'm going to do is as if I was going to lift my leg up, but my weight is in my leg. So it's not going to do that. And we're going to hold that. And breathe. So remember your weight's in your leg, you touch your bottom under, you can feel it in there, there's a stretch, and you're trying to lift your leg up, but your weight's in it, so you can't move. I'm going to do that for about 20 seconds. So it doesn't need to be precise. I mean, it's good if you can get the over 20 seconds. For now, we're just doing it so we can go through and have a practice. But when you practice this on your own, just time it on your phone. It's easier, isn't it? Keep breathing. Keep tucking that bottom under. Keep trying to lift. Might be a bit harder to do than the other one. And then we're just going to release it off. You can sit back if you want to. Let's do it again. So tuck under. And as if you're going to lift that knee up. Breathe in. To release tension. You're stretching that muscle out and contracting it. So a lot of these muscles are a bit overactive. Tuck, stretch, and tension. And that means eventually, basically they're just used all the time and they're used perhaps sometimes to do jobs that are on their own. And they're getting to a state then where they're so tense, they're in low level spasm. So they're not contracting very well, they're not actually then doing their job very well, but equally they're not releasing. So this is a really good technique to get those muscles to relax. And then not only do they let go of tension, they can do their own job properly, but they also stop interfering with the way other muscles work in your body. Overworking, you might find that this muscle, the glute, is not working as well as it could be. And last time. So just do the stretch, but you need to do the lift as well. Up and see how that feels. So if you stand up and your leg feels very different to the other, you probably needed to do that. So for me, as I stand now, I feel like that leg is very definite. It's doing a bit more than that leg is. Yeah, so I would say I probably had some spasm in there, some low level spasm. Should we do the other side? So slight tuck under. You might, as you do this, actually realise that one muscle is tighter than the other as soon as you go into that stretch. So we're tucking under, squeezing the bottom, and trying to lift the leg. doing this, I just like to come out of position in between. Sometimes you can stand up if you want to, walk around, tuck under and contract. There is a difference there, that's much more definite than on the other side, and that would work for me. That is true. I usually get more tension in this muscle on this side, so be aware of what that tells you as well. So if you really feel it on one side, you do need to do that more often, and you could do this 3 or 4 times a day, but remember to be gentle. We're not forcing anything, we are asking our body to gently let go. So now we've released some of those muscles, let's do a little bit of mobility. So we're going to come onto all fours here, and what we're going to try and do is some cat stretches. So try to figure out how we do these when we're in a big class and we go, oh, do a cat stretch, oh, lovely. Yeah, I want you to not move the bit that's easy to move. So for me, if you do it quickly, you'll find out, because you'll get your pattern if you move fast. That's the easy bit for me to move, yeah? So what we want to do is find a bit that's not so easy to move. So what I'm going to do is try and lift a bit lower. And I can feel that much more. So straight away, I'm aware that I'm stretching more. And that's what I want you to do, yeah? So just think about the different areas. And a good sign, again, is how well you're aware of something. So if you're thinking, I can't really tell what my back's doing, you need to move your back more. So you can help yourself here. You can put your hand on your back and try and move into that area. You could place something like a bean bag or something on your back so that you can feel push against it. So that will help with awareness. Go from one to the other, find the bits that are tight. Give your body what it needs. Try to move in ways you're not used to moving. Move areas that don't move very well, but be kind. You should feel that you're I was talking to you about the back line of the body. So we're working now on that back line again. So maybe see if you can let your head hang a little bit. And the weight in your head will put some more stretch and tension into that tissue down your back line. If that feels too much, then just stay as you were. Try and draw your tailbone down, lift your tailbone up. So look at my lower back, we're not dropping and lifting, it's much more about the hips, it's lower and it's much more subtle. Tuck under, release up. Tuck under, release up. So we're working much lower, right around the back of the hips, hopefully. Now, roll over onto our backs. We're going to try and get a little bit of rotation through the spine. So again here, not to be in good posture, much easier on the floor. Let the hips be supported, be comforted, I was going to say then. It should be comfortable. Let the shoulders relax, tuck the chin in. Take the arms out so you just can allow your body to be heavy on the floor. Take your feet and knees together. And we're going to roll the hips and the lower body. Can you see everything is together there? My knees are lined up, my feet are together. And we're just going to roll. So you are moving your hips here. Forget your knees. Move your hips. It's not about moving your hips further, it's about the movement creeping up your body. So you move your hips, and then you think about your lower back moving. So that's coming over. And then you go up towards the bottom of your rib cage. At this point, you need to make sure you don't arch your back. So your back is relaxed and you are rotating, not extending. And then you bring it back through the spine, all the way back up. Designed to move, so it's a kindness to move your body well, to find those areas, to look after yourself. So there again, remember I was saying this is my time to side, so there it's pulling us there. So I'm going to stay there, I'm going to just very gently move in and out, be very aware that my back is relaxed. Such a tiny little movement there. Go across the other side. Rock at the end. So you're not just trying to move your knees, your hips. You're trying to roll through the back. Roll legs. And unroll legs. Now this should actually feel quite pleasant. Most people like this exercise. In all my years of teaching, I would say this is probably the most people actually like to do for homework. That's how good it is. And I'm just going to do one more on each side. Wide and the knees together. You want to feel that the lower body is kind of anchored, so that's not going to go anywhere, that's not doing anything. Yeah, your lower back is totally relaxed. You're going to tuck your shoulder blades in and relax, and we're going to take those arms up together. And we're going to commit to keeping these together. We're going to keep the palms together, we're going to lift the fingers. Your arms need to stay straight, but they are not rigid. From here, we're going to roll onto one shoulder blade. Now the temptation here is to push and reach or to arch the back. I want you to just have your arms straight. You're not doing anything. Your arms only move because they are attached to your body. I want your back nice and relaxed, chin tucked in. Now think of your shoulder blades on the floor. The weight is in both shoulder blades. I want you to roll. Think shoulder blades, not back, just shoulder blades. Roll onto one shoulder blade. It's not a very big movement, but that's a good movement. Keep relaxing your back. If you get a good movement, you may well feel a stretch going into the lower back. Gentle, be kind. You're not forcing, you're working with your body, not against it. Again, that should feel really good. And from there, we're going to bring your knees in. And we're just going to roll them over. Even this movement of kind of rolling and moving on the floor is really good. So this is good for the back still. So again, keep relaxed. If you find this difficult, just do it small. If you want to hold your legs, hold your legs. It's entirely up to you. Feel that pressure through your hips. Can you feel that? It's like getting a massage. Almost, yes? So you're getting a little massage of the back of the hips. Goes to different places. Let's come around the other way. Hold on to our legs. So you can hold on to your knees, your chins, your feet, whatever you like. Now we're just going to push the knees out to the sides a bit and roll side to side. See if you can use the pull on your feet or your legs to just leg right, I want you to then throw your leg over. So I'm going to throw my left leg over. You can keep your head on the ground. Watch you move your head really far from the ground. Maybe just put a small pillow under your head. Over onto one side so we can come back up. And all we're going to do here is just rock backwards and forwards. So from here, walk the hands back, tuck the toes under, push with the hands and push down into the toes. Good to move. Move them hips, push back, and get the heels on the floor. Remember, don't try and compensate. If you're really pushing and hunching, that's not going to be any good. Just stay here. Of those, and then bring the knees down, the feet down. We're going to reach forward, we're going to try and flatten our backs. We're going to try and drop our rib cage down between the thumbs. And just have a stretch out. Try and relax the rib cage, as I said, down onto the floor, down towards the floor. Your head itself will be on the floor. So if you can get your forehead on the floor, or on your hand, or put something under your head. It's nice if you can stretch the arms out as well. Just maybe a little bit of movement. And we're going to bring the arms in. Tuck the chin in, hands by the knees. I'm going to push backwards, sit your bottom towards your heels. And I'll curl up through the spine. Doesn't that feel better? I hope you enjoyed